Okay, let's look at how to log into PBLGo and the basics of operating PBLGo and kind of the concept behind it. So let's take a look. This is the home dashboard and your login screen. Once you click to log in, it'll bring you to this, and you're just going to go to My Courses. If you don't have a course, just click the plus button and add a workspace. If you are a Classroom app user, you will already have courses there, and you'll just click on a course. I'm going to click on my Sandbox course because this is where all of my PBLs have gone, because I am a Classroom app user. Again, if not, you would click in the course. Once you get in the course or the workspace, click the plus button and go down and click PBL, and that will actually add the software to this workspace. Okay, so let's take a look at one that I've done already so that I can explain through a few things. It'll bring you to your dashboard, and that's just a quick glance at your PBL once you start creating it. This is also where future resources and help videos will go, but I always start in the planning form. And what this is created to do, this entire software is created to walk you through how to do a PBL on a day-to-day basis. The structure of the software, it's very simple, but what the actual foundation and structure of the software does is shows you what you should be doing in each phase so that the phases are easier to plan, and it kind of it frames your PBL. So here in the overview planning form, this just takes the very big chunks and says, okay, I need to go ahead and wrap my head around the big stuff so that I can set that aside, I can get it all mapped out, and then I can get into my daily building where I can actually start thinking about what I'm going to be doing on a day-to-day basis. So here in the planning form, we go up here to write what our project summary is. This is kind of a geographical understandings. It was kind of a shorter PBL, but you know, name your PBL something catchy. Put the name here. You also have it here because you named it out in the dashboard, and then just the summary of what the project is about. It kind of creates that problem or that need to solve a problem. That's what a project summary does. Okay, down through here, these are all of those big chunks that you need to be thinking about, and each box has a question mark that you can hover over. It doesn't clutter your screen, but if you need it, it's there to tell you what to do. This is the number of days or class periods it will take to complete the PBL. This is the content and skills, because what we're trying to get to is where we're thinking about not just a student learning content like when was George Washington born or when was he an influential leader, but the 21st century skills or the success skills, which is a better name for them, that are used to apply and problem solve through issues and problems related to that content. So we want to see those as two things together that work together. So is this social studies and language arts? Is it language arts and math? That's what you're typing in here. And again, remember, who's going to be looking at this? What does your administrator need to know? And what do you need to know to organize your head before you get into the day-to-day? So that's here. Right here you tag your standards. What tagging does, it doesn't have the standards. If teachers want that, we will add it. But the tagging will actually allow you to track standards that you have covered so that you can run reports to show what you've done and when. The driving question, I've written mine in, but I'll show you a blank PBL where the BIE tubric is actually, we have that in the driving question box for you so that it can help you actually write. It prompts you through writing a good driving question. And again, this is Buck Institute based PBL. This is the Buck Institute puts out the research and the gold standard PBL that I believe everyone should abide by, that they're kind of our measuring stick. They do wonderful training, so this software is actually built on what they have done. Okay, students or team, is this going to be an individual PBL or a team PBL? You can think about that as how are they going to be graded, but that way you can have them work in teams, but you can still view it as an individual project if you want. Most of them are in teams. The purpose of this form, before I move into these other areas, is to be smart, so that when you click something, it populates it in the building phase for you. So if you click individual, it will only have things available in this next phase that I'm about to show you that are appropriate for just an individual PBL as opposed to a team. Community partners, who are they? Self-explanatory. Resources needed, self-explanatory. I will say put any and all that apply. Project products, remember your students should be coming up with their own products. So you're only thinking through potential products, which we have to do because some students need help getting started. So we need to throw out ideas for them, but this is for potential products. They're going to come up with something way better than you can probably anyway. Reflection methods, we believe you should be reflecting throughout. Some do it every day. What format are you going to use for that? Okay, and then your phases that you will do assessment. Will you have a pre and a post test? If you have a pre-test, then you're going to be assessing in phase 1. A lot of people are just doing the informal assessments and checkpoints, quizzes, and then some of them still do a final unit exam. So you would just click the phases in which that would happen so that your assessment button can show up for you. Okay, so now that we've gotten all the big chunks out of the way, let's get into the nitty-gritty. Here are your phases of good PBL. Gold standard PBL has 4 phases. Okay, here's your question mark again. If you hover over this, it's going to tell you the phase that you're in, and it's going to tell you what you should be doing or considering in that phase. All of these buttons are instructional tasks that you may do them all, you may not do them all, but these are the ones that are appropriate for phase 1. Okay, so you would click and drag that into the box, and then you click on it to define it. If you need more days, add another day. Okay, so for the entry event, you have your text box. You also have Google integration, as well as Dropbox, OneDrive. There's webcam option, and then also an audio option. So really, you have any and all capabilities. You even have an equation editor here. So anything that you need to do to either capture a student artifact or plan for a PBL, you've got that in this text box, and you have that for each of these. But the beauty of the buttons is that you click them and drag them into the day so that you know exactly what you're going to be doing. You have this for every single phase. So you click and drag the instructional task into the phase, or into the daily box in the phase, and then you click on it and you define it. That way you have a nice view of what you're doing, and then if you want to know the specifics of what you're doing, all you do is click it and define it. I've pulled in here something that we created as a content team in my school district. For this unit, we pulled that in from Google because everything we do is in our Google Drive, so I needed to pull that Google Doc in. Any kind of protocols, like for peer critique, guiding questions that you've done as a school, pull all of those in as you need them because the integration with Google is so seamless, or with Dropbox. or OneDrive. But here in phase 2, you have your question mark. All you do is hover over that, and it tells you exactly what you need to be doing in phase 2. So if you're not sure, let's say you've gone through the training, but you're not sure exactly what the day-to-day looks like, you know you're in phase 2, you know these are the things that you need to be thinking about in phase 2, and then your help over here tells you exactly what you should be doing in phase 2. And then you break that out into days as you see fit and as you need to. Take away days, add days as you need to. And you do the same things in phase 3 and phase 4. You have only those things that would be appropriate for those phases with a help and a guide right there. And again, you click and you drag into the daily box, and then you click on the instructional task to actually define what you're doing. That way, when you go to your dashboard, you can actually glance to see, okay, I'm on day 5. I know I'm doing peer critique today. I have my protocol. I've typed out exactly what I'm doing. I've overplanned, which is never a bad thing. And you can glance at that here. You can get into building to actually go to that to see what it is you're doing. You can go back to your planning overview and revise things if you need to there. But the whole structure of this is to show you what to do on a day-to-day, phase-by-phase basis in PBL.